What is good, y'all? This is Robert. It's your boy over here. And yeah, great intro. Thank you so much for tuning in to Station Square. And yeah, I'm hoping that everybody is having had a nice Memorial Day, just kicking back, relax, spending time with family, and yeah, just doing my best to try to still wind down because I was just talking to my returning guest in the corner about the stuff that I've been up to, all the craziness and shenanigans that have been ensuing as of late. But yeah, this is Brandi Hollsten once again joining me on her second round on Station Square. How are you
Ow,
doing?
ow, ow, ow. I'm so good. This has been such a highlight for my day. It's, when you
I
have like
appreciate it.
the
Yeah.
daily grind and then you get to do the things that you want to do. So,
Oh my
yes,
gosh, yeah.
stoked to
I
be
know
here.
I know how it is. Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
oh, continue.
No, you go.
Yeah, but thank you so much for joining me once again. I don't have any I usually just wing it, so we'll just kind of go with the flow and
Let's
just
swing it.
yeah, just catch up. And we were talking a little bit like a week or like a couple of days prior to this, but yeah, just
Yeah.
share your recent, endeavors, your activity, all the good jazz, because we love to hear it. What have you been up to as of late?
So I think the last time I talked to you, because when you talked to me about it recently, you were like, "Yeah, it was almost 2 years ago," and I go, "No, that can't be. Time
Okay,
has no
probably
meaning to
either a
me."
year or 2 year. It's one of the
Ugh.
two.
Okay, so I don't know if I had been able to talk about it because I didn't I wasn't able to like go rewatch. But yeah, so I'm doing
Oh, right. Yeah. There's a lot of
yeah.
stuff we can really talk about.
Yeah,
So
I'm doing
I'm
some cool
glad we're
stuff.
doing this now.
I booked a thing in the fall. I had signed an NDA for it. And I just it's one of those where I'm like, I don't know if I know. But it's long past due. Like it was just a seasonal thing for a big corporation, and that was super fun. So I got to be a witch, and do a very witchy series of things. So that was really fun for the kind of the Halloween season last year for like a big name company. And again, like the NDA is one of those where I'm like, I've never been able to speak to anyone about it, so I don't want to burn a bridge. Well, I won't talk about it until I know I can talk about it. But did that, and then also the biggest thing that I'm doing these days is working on and again, I don't know if I talked about this. It's a video game called Nike, the Goddess of Victory, and it's an anime video game. Are you familiar with it, Robert?
Uh, I have not been keeping up with announcements. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, no, I had no idea about it before I got to be a part of it. And then the first day that I recorded, and I thought it was just going to be like a one and done. The director was like, "Hey, what do you know about this universe?" And I was like, "Nothing." And he was like, "Cool. The fans are rabid." And I was like, "Oh, tell me more." So he was like,
Oh, it's one of
"Yeah,
these situations.
it's
I
a
get it.
very big deal in Asia, I think." Um,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of conversation about the different voices from the different countries. And so I know that like France has dubs for it, America has dubs for it, Japan, Korea, and then I'm sure there's at least one more. There's like so it's a really big
Yeah,
deal.
it's
So
a
like the
lot.
fans, they genuinely are pretty rabid, but regardless of the incredible fan base, like the very kind fan base, the character is one of the coolest things I've gotten to do in my life. Like she is so badass. She's so cool. She's so many things I could not be. So started good, evolved to evil. And the artwork in the show is really amazing, and like I'm hooked, and I hope that they keep me forever and ever. I've been lucky enough to go back and record multiple times over the past year and a half. And so my character's had some like cool stuff, and her name is Leviathan. Um, but that's been the thing that's been keeping me the most excited over the past couple of years, you know? Um, And I still have some other regular gigs that I do, and then outside of that, it's like audition, 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 audition. So, and wait for something to hit. Am I right, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, like literally before this, it was just my. I like to consider this as my, getting back into the groove of everything, but also kind of like my catch up week because
Yeah.
I was mentioning this to Brandy that a lot of stuff has happened, over the last month or so, and I just had to go back and forth between personal family stuff and now just getting back into voiceover after just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth over and over and over again. It's like, man, it is exhausting. But I'm just glad that, it's situated and, we're just able to just at least breathe a little bit. Not me, because I just realized that there's some stuff that, because like, when you're taking care of like family emergency stuff, you kind of have to put a lot of the work that you're already doing on hold, and that's pretty much what's been happening. So
Yes.
this week it's just kind of been, I am, I'm, yeah, this is in the way. I am excited to say that, a lot of the stuff that I've been behind on, it's, I'm slowly catching up and it's slowly, just kind of, starting to get to a place where I'm not like super stressed of like, I need
Yeah.
to do this, otherwise I'm gonna, but no,
Yeah.
it's like I've been putting it off and I know I've been procrastinating because of like other excuse stuff, but yeah, I'm just like, but at the end of the day, you just got to take care of what really matters, in your life and what's super important to
I
you,
was gonna
God, and
say,
everybody. Yeah.
is that the conversation today? Is the work-life balance? Because honestly, that has been a massive struggle for me in the last few years, and I think that it
Mm.
happens to the best and the worst of us. Um, Life happens, and I think for those of us who are like highly motivated and incredibly ambitious, it's extra hard when the life intervenes and says like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to put a pause on everything you're doing right now.
Oh.
But I have to say, I've had about a decade of that being my story, where a lot of stuff has gone down with the family, and it's been moments of complete kind of emergency, all hands on deck, and then moments of um, I can get control of my life again. And I keep on having these kind of like I'll have these wishes where it's like, oh, I wish that everything would go back to the way that it was in 20 I'm feeling like 2014 when, things were smooth and I was able to just focus on what I wanted to focus on. And I think though, everything that's happened to me and to the people around me and that I've been able to be there to support for anything not directly related to my body, myself has been a growing experience for me. And you hear people talk about how the importance of being an artist is that you live your life and you're able to pull from those life experiences to do your art. And also, you can escape from your life to a degree to do your art. And I think that I have done through my stuff, and I hope this is true for you too, Robert. I've done nothing but grow in all of these years. Um, where I know now I am a much stronger person now than I was 10 years ago because of what I've been through. And there's a lot that's been like, okay, I fared that. I not only did I fare that, but like I managed that stuff and I have continued to be able to progress my career and my ambitions. Um, and it's hard. It's hard, but it's more rewarding when you win in a way, because you know like how hard you worked for it. So, and that's going to be true
Exactly.
for you. You've got a lot coming up in the next few months for you that like when all of it comes to fruition, and I don't know what we can talk about, what we can't, so I'm not going to talk about it, but I just know that you have a big summer of stuff. And when all of it is able to come to fruition, you're able to talk about it, you're able to like see it come to life. I mean, what an accomplishment, especially through these tough times for yourself.
Yeah, and on the subject of that, okay, so for those that don't know, I mean, I kind of, it's kind of like a little sneak peek of what I'm cooking up, so I guess I could kind of sort of talk about it a little bit. But yeah, but full disclosure, I think it's safe to say that this year has honestly been, well, I mean, the past couple of years for that matter, like in 2020s, but I think this one in particular has just kind of been like, okay, on one hand, like, you can have like a lot of this really amazing stuff happen, but then the next is like straight in the opposite direction, like boom, hits you like a truck. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much what happened to me like over the last month or so. But
Yes.
and also with economy, I don't want to get into politics, but yeah, it's just been not so great with strikes and all that
Mm.
jazz. But the on the flip side, to just turn it to something a little more positive, it's like, like we were just talking about. I man, so when you were talking about like me having like a really chaotic, crazy year, like summertime specifically, so the thing that we were mentioning is that I've talked about it in some interviews that I was doing over the past week, but I've got a little Solomon Shrine coming out, like this own
Woo!
my indie original animated show that I've been cooking up since, the height of COVID times, 2021, 2020. That whole time when everybody was freaking out about toilet paper and all that jazz. But yeah, yeah, that was a wild time. Let me
Well, Robert, your ears should have been ringing because I was talking to my sister about it and I was like, the sides were so good. Like to be able to read those sides that you guys have for the character, like you you and whoever you're, coordinating, collaborating, creating with, like
yeah.
whatever the creative team is, um, the writing is lovely and the characters have such depth to them. And then the artwork is incredible. Like it's so good. It's so good. You should be so excited about what you have coming around the bend.
Yeah, for sure. And I know this is kind of like a self-plugging thing, but honestly, at this
Do
point,
it.
it very much is. Well, I gotta do this because, well, it's coming out soon, But
Mhm.
yeah, the teaser, you can watch it on my YouTube. Be sure to, just look for it somewhere in the if it's not buried in a lot of other videos that I got in here, interviews and
Somewhere
stuff,
on the
but
internet.
yeah, somewhere on there. It should be up. I also want to give a shout out to I Married a Monster on a Hill with the folks that graciously put the link for people to check it out, like as an advertisement. So if you want to check it out on a website with a link to it, on a client that I've previously worked with, they graciously just put it up on the front page. So you definitely
Amazing.
check it out while you can because it's only for a limited amount of time, or I think it goes up for like per month. I forget how it works. But anyways,
Yeah.
the teaser is out and episodes will be coming out for Solomon Shrine pretty soonish, and I am so jazzed because we're gonna announce the cast this week, if you can
Ah,
believe it. Yeah,
stop!
yeah, I
Oh,
know,
I'm
yeah.
excited to see it.
Because when we were doing the whole casting process, it was like, oh, who am I gonna work with? And then
Yeah.
I'm okay. I know it's gonna be like me just doing like my stroking ego thing, but I got a pretty great cast, y'all. You're gonna
Ooh,
be
I have no doubt.
jazzed. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
honestly, with the writing the way that it is, I would be shocked if you didn't get a good cast.
I
And
know,
anyone
yeah,
who, yeah, it's so good. It's so good, Robert. I'm really proud of you. I'm really like excited to see it come to life. Like I'm excited.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be amazing.
There's so many people I want to credit here, but you'll be seeing it in the announcement video when it comes out on my social. So yeah, so yeah, fiddle dee dee and all that jazz.
Doodly doo. Yes.
Doodly doodly doo. But yeah, not only that, but also Furious 5 is also, I'm announcing the cast for that. It's like a webtoon dub that I'm doing and
Yeah.
got some pretty great people on that as well. So I'm really excited to announce that cast when it gets closer to it. So yeah,
Very
pretty
cool.
busy summertime and got cooking up some other things on the side, like this show, for instance, writing and You know what? I've just been talking about myself for like 5 minutes.
I know, but
I've
now I
just
want to like again turn this interview around on you. I'm so much better talking about other people. So here's my question. How many hours a day do you spend writing or creating?
okay, yeah. I just it just kind of comes to me like it just you know what? If I have some downtime, like I usually get my best stuff during the evening because if I wake up in the
Mhm.
morning or afternoon, I'm just going to be my brain just automatically goes to okay, voice acting and then emails, uploading interviews, pretty much doing a lot of this stuff and then when it comes to the wee late hours of the night, I'm like
Mhm.
oh, I got an idea for like, and this happens a lot with Solomon Shrine, where like,
Yeah.
my writing partner and I, and um, let me see, have
What's their
I?
name?
I think I'll, you know
Wait,
what,
what's the name of your writing partner?
um, I'm gonna have them on for
Oh,
because I'm doing a little re-theme for Solomon like next month, so you'll probably get to meet them along the way.
amazing.
But I think I'll probably credit them on the teaser, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna
good.
announce them in the video when it
Okay,
comes to it.
good.
So,
Got it.
um,
Got it.
I'm sorry if I can't say their name right now, but it's like I just really want this to be
That's
a
the
big,
biz we're in. That's what
yeah.
we do, you know? Like it's not everything can be disclosed immediately. So,
Yeah, so let's just say with my writer and a couple of other people that suggested, like, some made some suggestions for how to, I guess, punch up the story a bit. We would just kind of get these ideas. We would just kind of go over, like, either text or social media. We would just throw around some ideas, and then we would come up with rough drafts and mix our two best ideas, and boom, it
mhm,
just becomes a
I love
collaboration
that.
between the both of us. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much how the whole writing process goes. Like if I'm doing Solomon,
Mhm.
if it's for my own personal stuff, like if it's a poetry or stuff like that, later to the night, and I just kind of just write something down. I just kind of get it out in like 10,
So
20
you're more
minutes.
of a night owl than you are a
Night
morning.
owl, yeah, and I just kind of write by the seat of the pants type of
Yeah.
deal, like
Yeah.
because I think if you're writing what comes to you, I think it kind of makes some good stuff most of the time. That's why you have people refining
But
it.
I think, yeah, and I think that's also like Jerry Seinfeld always talked about how he's got basically like is it Jerry Seinfeld or is Woody Allen? Ugh, Woody Allen, you know, what a controversial character, but separate the art from the artist.
Hmm.
So,
Oh boy.
I know, right? But Woody Allen, I think it was Woody Allen, would have
Yeah, that's
he
an
had
episode.
he had a shoe I know, but he had a shoebox, and he would just anytime he had an idea for something, he would just like scribble down this idea, and it could be 2 words, it could be 2 sentences, I don't know, and then he would just rip off that little piece of paper, throw it in the shoebox, and so I think that that's how creation happens, though. You know, like it's not there it's not a linear process. It's very much it's scattered. It's all over the place. It's and then if you have someone to collaborate with that you can collaborate with uh cohesively, like what a dream. My sister and I write together. She's definitely more of the writer than I am. And I'm I just sort of help with like finessing the ideas, like
Yeah.
help with like creating elements to the story. And like a lot of times she'll come to me and be like, "Hey, I'm stuck on this part of the story. I need to find a way to get from point A to point B." And I'm like, "Great, I'm on it." And so then I'm like, I'll just sit there and brainstorm, and then we'll share a document where we'll just sort of like idea dump onto the document. And that's largely at the beginning of a process when it's like we've got this very vague idea for something, we'll just sort of idea dump. Once it gets a little bit more refined and more specific, it comes down to like me texting her, her texting me, or one of us like frantically calling the
I
other one, you know?
think that's our writing process for Solomon
Yeah.
Shrine as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much similar to what we're doing. So, and it works
Yeah.
out beautifully because Lord knows we have the time to get on Zoom and just spitball ideas. Just not that it's bad, but it's like both are scheduling is really tough, man. Especially if you're in different time zones and
Yeah.
or if in another country.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's also another thing
Mhm.
too, which isn't thankfully the case. It's in still in the States, but just hours apart. So
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like with the writing and everything, since we're kind of on the subject, I kind of wanted to discuss storytelling. And I know we were kind of went on a
Yeah.
tangent about the work-life balance, but I want to talk about something that personally gives me gives both of us joy, which is storytelling. So
Love it.
I'm not sure if we discussed this last time, but what would you say
Let's do
if
it.
you were to name like any media that is inspirational to you? List it.
First, via storytelling?
Yeah, for story or just any piece of media, just TV, books, movie,
I'm
anything.
real drawn to good TV. Like I'm very, very drawn to I come from a family of readers, so my whole upbringing was reading. So I'm still that's still very much the world I'm in. I don't know if there anyone who watches and participates in this is a fan of the Hunger Games and that whole universe, but that's
Wow, man, that takes me back.
it's a big universe for me. So like Harry Potter was my entire upbringing.
Oh man. Yeah.
And then my adulthood, sort of that imagination world was the Hunger Games. So I don't know if anyone's read the newest Hunger Games book that just came out, Sunrise on the Reaping. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. Talk about good storytelling. But I tend to get real invested in good storytelling in TV shows. So it doesn't matter if it's a cartoon. It doesn't matter if it's live action. It doesn't matter if it's a documentary. Like documentary storytelling is, I think, how everyone should study storytelling and how all actors should study like act being real humans
Yeah,
because
life. Yeah.
yeah, it's really if you watch a person in a documentary and you try to like impersonate that, it's a totally different experience than I'm in an acting class and I'm doing Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, you know? Like it's a very different journey. So, yeah, TV I think for me is the biggest, but so much TV is based off of so much good TV is based off of really great literature. So, it's to me it's like ooh, the two of them are
Yeah.
sort of neck and neck. What is it for you?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't want to go on like an hour
Do
long
it. Do
just a
it.
list, but
Go.
I'm just gonna you know what? I'm just gonna TLDR this real quick.
Like it.
So for Solomon Shrine, like specifically for that, it's just a lot of, I mean, we were just, it is so funny. We were just talking about thunderstorms and I mentioned Stranger Things with the lights flickering and
Yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think
before we started recording, we were talking
like
about
actually getting
massive
to business,
thunderstorms.
we were just,
Yeah.
yeah, thunderstorms.
Yeah.
Weather is kind of like a reoccurring theme here. So, anyways, it
Oh.
was, no, I mean, we would just, I swear, whenever we start an interview, it's always like, so how's the weather and how is, yeah,
It's very
always.
1800s of us. Oh, it's lovely weather today.
Oh my gosh, I just love the sunshine and rainbows. But yeah, but no,
Yeah.
Stranger Things is kind of like one that kind of comes to mind when you read some of yeah, like the characterizations is kind of more so because Stranger Things was I hit my mic. Is the Stranger Things is kind of like was one of the elements, and also I just love. I'm just starting to get into like a good mystery, just sci-fi
Yeah.
adventure type of thing. Because growing up, I was always like a comedic, like comedy dude, like SpongeBob, Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry and stuff like that. So yeah, I
Yes.
gotta go with the classics. I love old school classics, Nickelodeon, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Cartoon Network, cartoons from the 90s.
Tiny Toons Adventures. I was talking about
Oh
with
my
someone
gosh,
earlier
yeah,
today.
Animaniacs.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
even have some stuff back here. Freakazoid, look at there,
Yes.
Batman. Yeah, so I'm.
Which Batman is that? Is that
Oh, it's the animated series from the '90s with Kevin Conroy. Rest in peace.
Aw,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I still think it's such a- it's even if you're not really like a superhero or a DC type of dude, like I I'm not really like a big superhero guy, but Batman is just an example of just masterful storytelling,
Yes.
just beautiful characterizations, amazing voice acting, voice direction, just
Yeah.
the animation, the writing, everything was just lightning in a bottle quality, man.
Yeah.
I think the show that is kind of very close to it is Avatar, which is kind of a no-brainer, like the
Really?
original. Oh,
Are we talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender?
yeah, The Last
Oh,
Airbender, the
yes,
OG.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, 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 yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
when
thought you were
he
talking about Avatar, the James Cameron.
I mean
And I
like
was
it's
like,
fine,
uh-huh, uh-huh,
but
good stuff. Really good, brilliant stuff did come out of that. Would I say that that's like a no, but Avatar: The Last Airbender,
yeah, the
I
original.
mean,
Yeah.
incredible storytelling, incredible acting, like across the
Yeah.
board. What a dream to be a part of that project.
I mean, it could happen.
Yeah.
Just fingers
Yeah.
crossed. Hire
Yeah.
us, Nickelodeon. I'm kidding.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Nickelodeon, you listened. Okay. But yeah, it's
Don't worry, they're
The original.
listening.
Yeah, we would. No, but yeah.
Yeah.
Avatar. Yeah. I know when
Yeah.
I'm mentioning Avatar, people are like, wait a minute, are you talking about Korra? Like,
Yeah.
it's like people always are like, oh, Korra? Hmm.
Right.
But I mean, it does have its issues, but you know what? It's really
Sure. I
cool.
think it's great and
Yeah.
like every there's so much art that like when art is lauded as something, you go to the Cannes Film Festival is happening right now and there's all these
Oh,
like
dope.
articles about like, oh
Yeah.
yes, there was a 7 minute standing ovation for this person and blah blah blah. And to a degree, there's times with that where I'm like, okay, is it because it's like it's a name and there was some really great hype that people just felt like they wanted to be a part of that, or is it because that particular art did inspire that kind of response? And I think it's such a toss up. Like I think it happens both ways. And but even if it is like, oh yes, this is a person that we're like, oh yeah, the marketing has been so good, so we know we have to be very excited about this. I think there is a lot of artistry that is to be respected in those projects, even if the project as a whole doesn't hit on Rotten Tomatoes or with the audiences, or like I think that there are elements of artistry in everything that you watch that you can be inspired by and that you can take
Yeah.
from, with storytelling, with directing, with writing, with like there might be a particular actor. So I think that no matter what art you're seeing, there's so much good to take away. There's bad to take away a lot of times, but that's also like we learn from the bad, right?
I mean, sometimes we get inspired by the bad stuff and make our own.
Exactly. Oh no, I'm gonna don't say it. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to like anger an entire generation of people. The Twilight series. Like,
I mean, look, it's
look, here's
we're
the
not in
thing.
like 2000s or 2010s
I
anymore.
was
I mean,
all in on the books. I was all in. I was all in on the movies. Like I wanted, and I get there is so much good to take away from what she did, from what from what she created. So
yeah.
much good. Is it the most brilliant piece of art ever created?
Mm,
Probably not.
probably, but like,
I mean,
look,
maybe not. But
all I'm
but
saying
also
is, yeah,
there is a lot of good to take away from it
look,
in storytelling, and like you don't get that kind of mania
yeah,
with something that doesn't engage people, like there is something to be said about what
yeah,
everything that she did, and I was right there with everyone. I was with
yeah,
it. And I think that's, to me, like and also if we're talking about storytelling inspiring other things, good, bad, or ugly, because of Twilight, we got 50 Shades of Grey, which again, agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. It's fan fiction, like it inspired someone so deeply that they created a whole level of fan fiction
it
that took
became
on
a
a life of its
meme.
own. Do you know what I'm saying? So like you can't discount art of any kind. It all inspires
Yeah,
in some way or another. So
like, and I always say, like, with Twilight, I never got the hype of it, but let's be real here. There are like 1,000 ripoffs that are probably going to be either better or worse than Twilight, so take that as you will. But
I say what
anyway,
you will, I couldn't turn away. I bought every
yeah.
book. I
But
watched every movie. Like,
yeah,
no.
so yeah. But going back to my
Yeah.
influences, it was Stranger Things, the shows that I mentioned, because I always loved comedy stuff like Animaniacs. Like that's another big one for me. And okay, just as a self little promo, Nostalgia Con next weekend. I think Rob Paulson, Yaga Warner, and other characters.
Stop it.
Yeah, and
Where
Tom
is it?
Kenny. It's in
Where?
Anaheim over here, like in
Oh,
SoCal.
how
Yeah,
dare you? How
yeah.
dare you? I'm over
I
in
know this. It
Texas.
goes around. Yeah, I think it's in Texas. I'm not quite sure, but yeah,
Rob Paulson is an idol of mine. Tom
yeah,
Kenny an idol. Like, and I know that these
So many
guys
people.
are.
Yeah, I need to send you the
I'm gonna.
list of people.
I know. I'm gonna Google it because
Yeah,
now, like,
Google it and be amazed at the guest list. It
did
is.
I ever? Did I ever tell you my Rob Paulson?
Yeah,
Like,
we'll get to that in just a bit. But yeah, Animania. Yeah, so for my main, it's just a lot of comedy, but like Solomon Trine, I don't know if you kind of got this when you were looking at the character designs, but I guess a little bit of Gravity Falls or like Danny Phantom,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
stuff. Yeah, Gravity
definitely.
is a huge one for me.
But
Yeah,
it
I
didn't feel like a knockoff on it.
exactly. It's like you
Yeah,
take influence from it and not make it into a total
yeah.
ripoff, or just do a bad parody of it. I'm looking at you like those bad superhero movie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it felt very independently its own thing. And again, the writing is going to speak for whatever. It like the animation and the character art is so important. It's so
Yeah,
important. And I don't want to diminish that by any means, but the writing is what's going to pull people in to
yeah,
be able to like further appreciate the beauty of the art that's
yeah.
created. So,
So I just feel inspired by live action animation, but also
yeah.
going to live shows. Like, I don't know, something about going to a performance like recently, it wasn't really like a live performance. It was just like what is it? It's like a recorded thing of like on a projection screen or something. I forget what it's called, but it's like a circ show, like a circus, like
Yes, tell me more
just
about
ballet
Cirque.
dance. Yeah, so
Did you know I do like circ as a hobby? I have a lyra in my house.
okay, nice. Well, that's something new we're getting every day. So yeah, like live performances, whether it's like ballet, mime, dancing,
Yes.
singing, just stuff like that, just doing live shows. It's just something that's just so it's incredibly immersive. Like you can kind of study, like it kind of goes back to studying from life. So it's just something that, I
One
just
of
want to bring up.
one
So
of my
just take
biggest
something from life.
mentors. Yeah, one of my biggest mentors in my life, and this
And also
was kind
people
of
in my life too.
yes. Yeah, no, but this was sort of that like 2014 to 2016 was a very magical period for me.
Hmm.
And that particular period I had a mentor that I worked with where I did a ton of Meisner stuff. His name is Richard Robichaux, and he one of his biggest things that he would give us every week, every time we saw him, was like, you need to go fill your cup as an artist. So, yeah, you're auditioning, you may not be booking stuff, you're writing, you may not be getting any hits on that. Like you're stuck as an artist, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're massively inspired, massively stuck, it doesn't matter who you are. You have to be a human
Yeah.
more than anything. And so he would tell us, go fill your cup. So he's like, there's an art exhibit at this gallery this weekend. Go do that. He's like, hey, this park has a thing where it's like free admission for you to go and just hang out. Go do that.
Yeah.
And so it's all about like filling your cup as an artist and having experiences, life, art, human interaction, like just things to pull from
Yeah.
to be able to like it's you're just finding life from
Exactly.
every decade, every
Yeah.
period, current, past, future, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like you're just pulling from it and you're living your life. And he's like, the biggest thing you can do as an artist and the most important thing you can do as an artist is to live your life
Yeah.
and to live a life. Like
Exactly.
don't get caught up in the art. Go be a human in the world.
Yeah. Being a bookworm is also really great.
Great.
Yeah, I've been
Great.
getting a lot into some other, novels and stuff like that. But one of my all-time, and I've talked about this in a previous episode, but the Bible can also be a really good
Yeah.
influence when it comes to scriptures, the stories, like with
Mhm.
Jesus Christ and the disciples and what they had to go through, the hardships and I think I pretty much took a lot of that, like with trials and hardships, and just turned a lot of it into like, okay, they have to go through trials and hardships, but how are they going to overcome it with teamwork and not giving in to temptation? Like a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff you can find from the Bible is in, Solomon, without it being so like, because I really wanted to share like some of the messages of like faith and stuff in there, and not be like, Jesus, like being so in your face.
Real quick pause. We have
Yeah,
less
I
than a
know.
minute
So we'll
left.
just continue in the next part. So,
Okay.
alrighty.
I
So
don't want
stick
you to
around for
get
the.
cut off.
I know. Just watch the next part. See you in a bit. Alrighty, so we're back in action, and yeah, that'll be a pretty interesting topic that I'll have with, with some more guests. How to include or how to share our faith without being in your face about it. But that would be a
Yeah.
different topic on another episode. So yeah, if you'd like to see that, comment away. But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, so we've been talking a lot about like, my influences, what shows inspire me, inspirations, yada yada. But yeah, it's so cool that you're into like the Cirque stuff. That's something
Mhm.
not even I know about until just now. So hey, you learn something new every day. But
It's a hobby.
yeah, a hobby. So tell us your Rob Paulson story.
Okay, so right at the beginning of my time that I was like, I'm gonna get into voiceover. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm shameless, and I think I did talk about this on the previous one. I have zero shame when it comes to reaching out to people and putting myself out in the universe. Like I don't care. I have nothing to lose. So there was a period of time where I was creating a web series with my sister and a very good friend of mine. And I was reaching out to George Clooney, and I was like in talks with George Clooney's people because I genuinely think it came down to like the confidence I had in my reach outs, where I'm like, hey, we'd really like Mr. Clooney to be a part of this. And they're like, tell us more. So I was genuinely like chatting with his manager. Um, but Rob Paulson, Comic Con came down here to San Antonio, good old San Antonio, Texas.
San
And
Antonio.
San Antonio. Oh,
San
that's
Antonio.
some of the best Mexican food you're gonna get in the United
I like
States.
them. I like some Chipotle.
It's so good. All of the food you're gonna
Oh,
get here is so good. We're such a
oh my
foodie
God,
family.
I'm craving Chipotle right now.
I know. I think I'm getting Chipotle for dinner. Stop it, Robert. Get out of my head.
Dude,
Um,
get out of my head.
I have no food in my fridge. So anyway, so
Anyway,
Comic Con happened. It was on a
yeah.
whim. My sister who lives here, she's not my writing partner. She is a doctor. She and I were like, let's go to Comic Con. That might be fun. So in the plans to go to Comic Con, I was like, I'm an aspiring voiceover actor. I should put my demos out there for them. This was many years ago. Many years ago.
Oh my God.
So I put my demos onto little jump drives, little, just like little bitty jump drives that I had labeled with these very sassy, like silly, like phrases and things and like just whatever. So
It's
we went to
on Brandy.
yeah, it was silly British words were like the sort of label I had on the different ones. So
God.
I can't think of any of them right now, but it was a bumble. Is it a bumber shoot? Anyway, like like the name for an umbrella, like silly things that were just funny words that you're like, oh, I love that. That's interesting. What is this? So anyhow, went and saw it. Rob Paulson was there. He is um a hero of mine in the most respectful way. Like he's not someone that I would ever ag- aggressively inappropriately approach, like he's someone that I was just like, he's a teacher. I knew he was teaching voiceover. I knew that he was trying to inspire younger generations for voiceover. And this is before his cancer diagnosis and everything. Um,
Oh my. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. So he was doing a lot of teaching and a lot of inspiring, and he had his podcast and he was doing some incredible things. And like,
That's a good one. Yeah,
yeah.
talking
And so, like,
tunes.
what? Yeah. Oh my God. Talking twos. I miss it. I miss it so much. But he was such an inspiration to me on so many levels. Like, he was an inspiration to me growing up. And then he was an inspiration to me as an adult artist, trying to create in this world. And so I waited after one of his panels and like got to meet him, shake his hand, and gave him my little jump drive, and I was like, I'm an aspiring voiceover actor, and like I respect you so much, and I'm looking for mentors, and I'm looking for teachers, and this is my current demo, and blah 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 blah. And I expected literally nothing to come from it. And so truly nothing did come from it. So I had the appropriate expectation. And that's not in any way a dig on him. Like, God bless his sweetness for being as polite, kind, and gracious as he was in the, in the 20-second pitch I had to him of like, I'm an actor, here's my thing, take it. But yeah, he was lovely, he was gracious, he was everything. But he's also, I don't know how he is as an actual acting coach, but I know he was taking on students at that time. And I was like, I want him as a teacher. But he is very inspiring to me as a
Yeah.
human. And
I
I,
think
I, I appreciate his like perspective on everything
I
more than
think
I'll
he's
ever say.
yeah, I think he's doing private coaching right now.
I think he is too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it's on his website and everything, so that's how I keep. I do the
Oh,
stalkerish thing of how,
I love,
okay, are you doing, yeah, in a healthy way. Just,
buddy. This is why you and I are friends. You got to be
yeah,
like,
just, just follow them on socials. Just check out the websites, where they're gonna be at.
as an up
That's how
and
I do about
comer,
nostalgia.
as an up and comer in the biz, I think it doesn't hurt to be just
I mean, what?
a gentle stalker.
Yeah,
Like you're just keeping your eye on what's going on. You're not doing anything inappropriate. You're not being
yeah,
inappropriate. You're just
yeah.
keeping an eye on what's happening and taking
Think,
bold steps.
yeah, I think it's kind of how I have like my podcast, for instance. I mean, it's like I see somebody or I'm in a class with somebody, which shout out to voiceover camp once again, because I think that's kind of how we got
Right.
connected, and then that's
It
how,
is. It
we got,
is.
you know.
I reached out. I did a class with Kritzia through another voiceover organization over 5 years ago. It was sometime pandemic time. I think it was 2020. And I was so inspired by like, it was the first time in years that I had felt that kind of like, oh my God, you get it. And so I reached out to her the next day and I was like, hey, girl, I'm looking for a mentor. And she was like, the timing is real rough because I am so busy right now. And she said, but I just
Uh-huh.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, but I just started this organization called Voiceover Camp. And I was like, sign me up. So, yeah, that is how we met. It's the
That is,
best.
yeah.
That whole
That's
community
the
is
downside.
the
Yeah.
best.
It is the downside if you're like, man, super busy with a lot of different stuff. I mean, when you get to a level where you're like, I mean, I don't really consider it as like, it's really sad for me to say because like I'm saying that Chrissia is placing her on a pedestal, but it's like she really did create a giant community of students, performers that are just getting started.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've had people on my show, and I'm just giving y'all a shout out. I'm sorry I'm leaving out names, but the people that I've had on my series, and now they're booking like, Digital Circus that is out right now, and also like video games, Genshin, and just, oh my God,
It's an
it's just so,
incredible community. And the thing I love
it's
about that
insane.
community, the
Yeah.
thing I love about that community is that it ranges from people who are more accomplished and like, right on the cusp of kind of greatness in their career to people
Yeah.
who are just starting out, and
Yeah.
everybody is one in their support
Yeah.
and their love and their kindness towards one another. And that is everything that
The best.
I needed and wanted. And I mean, probably for you too. It's just,
Yeah. I mean, it is one of the, because like full disclosure, I don't really keep track. It's not that I don't keep track, but I just don't really stick around in a lot of voiceover, like, I don't know,
communities. Yeah.
communities. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I just learned something from them, and then I just kind of,
And then you bounce.
apply for something, I bounce. But for here though, it's like I've been really consistent with it. And I've talked about this too. When somebody is not available for like a workout, I kind of pop in there and just
Yeah.
work on skills or just listen into all these other great, amazing people. So yeah,
It's a
or
full-on
just collab.
community. Like the
Yeah,
support I have found from these people, and the thing that I love, 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 those of us who are in like
yeah.
not LA, is that it's a group of people from in everywhere in the country
So
and
many different
Canada
areas. Yeah.
and New Zealand and like, shout out Chloe
Australia.
and like
Yeah.
it just everyone's everywhere,
Yeah.
everywhere. And it's just such a group of people who are very passionate and very kind. And she's done, I don't know what the juju is, I don't know what the magic is, I don't know what it is that she has done, that's created and cultivated that community, but I'm grateful for it every day.
Yeah. So definitely a big shout out to Chrysia, Stephanie, Scott, and yeah, I mean, I'm just
Yeah,
listing all the names at
Jeff,
this point.
exactly. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm like,
so
there's
many
so
great names.
many. There's so many.
Yeah,
The whole
but
team
yeah,
is incredible.
Think Skills Hub is also a good resource. So
Gloria,
Gloria, yes.
yeah, our
I mean, come
overlord.
on.
Yeah,
MVP in the house. Come
yeah,
on, man.
exactly.
So yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have had people that I was shortlisting for my own stuff, for Solomon Shrine. So you never know, man. You just never know.
And
Um,
again, that's where I'm
yeah.
real excited for your rollout of whoever you've
Dude,
cast.
I just cannot wait to announce
Because I'm
everybody,
telling
man.
you, whether they're a name or not a name, if they
Yeah,
came from this community and they submitted for it, whoever you ended up casting is going to be exactly the right choice.
exactly.
Exactly the
The,
right
the the
choice.
best choice.
Mm-hmm.
And also going back to Rob, like when we were talking about websites and stuff like that. This kind of reminds me of a story of a guest that I had on my show, Bob Bergen, who talks about the Mel Blanc.
Stop! You and
Yeah,
Baga? Stop!
dude, it took some time. It kind of took a because he's also
Did you
incredibly in
did you lose consciousness for like a week after that?
lose conscious.
I
No,
mean,
I mean
that's
like
like a he's a legend.
dude, I mean, like, I have to do my research, homework, and just pretty much be as calm, courteous, But like, yeah, just talking with Bob, he was like, when it comes to the know-it-all, like
Yeah.
the trinkets and everything of the VO industry, the nuts and bolts, he is pretty much the guy to talk to
Yes.
because I would just message him sometimes on Steve Bloom's Discord, not Discord, a Facebook group, where you ask a question, he would just give these really specific,
Yeah.
like, answers all for free. And you could
He's
just even look on his
incredibly
Instagram stuff
thoughtful.
for free. Yeah. So
He's
thoughtful,
so
so
kind.
generous with his
He's
time.
so
Yeah.
giving. Yeah, he's so giving
And
in the knowledge because
yeah.
he wants to help like create the next generation.
And
Like,
he doesn't pull back any punches, which is the type of
no.
coach that I need, in
Yes.
my life.
Agreed.
Yeah. And I don't
Agreed.
know if Rob is kind of the same, but I think for Bob, it's kind of like I gravitated more towards okay, so this is the no nonsense approach he's given. Like, this is something that I need instead of just oh, like, if you do this class, you're definitely demo ready.
Bleh,
Oh my
bleh, bleh,
God.
bleh, bleh.
And also just, yeah. Oh, trust me, I could go on about
Have you
that. That's
coached?
a
Have
can
you
of worms.
coached with Bob
I am on
privately?
his wait list, and we're trying to schedule a date out. It's just money, man. That's
Yeah,
just,
it's
yeah,
money.
finances. But I think I'm kind of starting to get to the place where I have more time, especially since, that family thing is
Hmm.
over. And, you
Yeah.
know, uh, yeah, so my life won't be as disrupted anymore. So I will give him that's something for accountability. Message
Hmm.
Bob sometime over the summertime.
Yeah, and
And
I have no
yeah,
doubt you're gonna get in with him as a
exactly. Yeah.
like it's just finding the right mentor, and that's what I've been
Yeah.
searching for I think 10 years. And so
Because yeah.
I'm doing everything on my own as much as I can, but then constantly seeking the right person to help me
Yeah, because
level
I've
up.
I've interviewed, yeah,
Yeah.
tough love, exactly, because
Yeah.
I've chatted with so many people, like some of the best in the industry, like some of the ones that you hear all the time, like Dave Vinoy, the Mark Cashman, the Emma O'Neill, people like them. And it's
Hmm.
like, when you talk to folks that have been in the business for a long time, you want to learn from those that are in the industry that you wanted to be in. And that's something that Bob teaches on all the time. It's like study from the best, don't take shortcuts. And yeah, that's pretty much how I'm able to learn a lot about the stuff that, we're in right now. And yeah, it's just pretty much is the best way to go about it. Be a student and really learn from your senseis,
Hmm.
the ones that you aspire to have the career. Learn from those that you aspire to have the career or something like that.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
certain schools that sort of teach that mentality of like find the
yeah,
actor whose career is one
that
that
you want.
you
Yeah,
want,
you,
and then study what they did, and then
yeah,
follow that path. And I think there's good to that. I
yeah,
think there's something to be said about that, but I think everybody is so individual and so unique that
exactly.
you gotta find your own path and you gotta find your own
Yeah,
voice.
and I guess
Um,
with that, yeah. Sorry,
so
continue.
yeah, no, you're good. You pick from that, you pick from that, you pick from that, and like you create your own
Yeah.
journey.
because it's like you can learn from the Richard Horvitz or the Crispin Freeman, Charlie
Mhm.
Adler, Bob Bergen. So there's a lot of great different choices that you could find, like many different
Yeah.
and full disclosure, I know that not everybody is gonna jive or gel with a coach, but hey, if it works for you, this is why everybody is uniquely different. You know, if everybody was the same, it would just be a really boring industry, you know?
Well, and I have to
And
say, same
yeah.
for agents, for people who are up and
Yeah.
coming, because there's a
Yes.
big, there's that big like desperate want of like, I want uh an agent that,
The Disney princess I
in
want.
this category. Yeah, exactly. Like I want an LA agent only in this category. And I have to say, I did many classes over a period of years, and they always give you that disclaimer at the beginning of class where it's like, "Hey, this is not an audition. This is just a learning opportunity for blah blah blah." And I think that the very most important takeaway from that is that it is a learning opportunity, because when you take on an agent, you have to mesh with them as much as them accepting you. You know, like if they don't get who you are as an
Exactly.
actor,
Yeah.
you're signing on to stare at the wall. So
Exactly. Yeah.
if they don't understand who you are, then you move on. And I had classes with agents that I had this epiphany about that, where I was like, "Oh my god, I really thought I wanted to be with this agency, but like working with this agent one on one, it is so clear they don't get who I am.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like this is a bad fit for me." So it was
Yeah.
good for me to take those workshops to be able to sort of shop around and understand what those agents were offering, and then whether or not you jive with them, because it'll be like $125 to do a class, um, to do a
This
workshop,
is an
which is
investment, y'all. Like, this is not a cheap
crazy
business to get
expensive.
it yourself into. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
first it's
expensive.
$125. Second, if you can get into it, like if you can get on the short list of people that actually like make it into the class. So, like you got to be tenacious, you got to be ready, you got to be ready to spend some money and to drop that money really fast. But I do think it's a good thing for people who are trying to find the right agent for themselves to do the workshops with the big guys, with the
Yeah,
big agents that you hear
the
people
big
talk about.
boys.
Yeah, exactly, because you'll understand whether or not you actually might be a fit with them. Because you might not be. They might be incredible, but you might be a terrible fit for what they have to offer. So you got to find the right fit for you.
Yeah,
And it might be
exactly.
more niche, it might be more boutique, it might
Yeah.
be the big guys, it doesn't matter. But I was really shocked in my journey of like trying to find the right agent that there were a couple people that I go, oh my God, I would rather stab myself in the eyeball than be with
Oh,
this person.
ooh. Oh my
Like
goodness. Yeah.
they don't get who I am at all. They don't get
Yeah.
it.
Um, yeah, because this is something that I've actually talked about with some friends of mine, and either on here or off camera. We were just kind of talking about agencies, and one of my friends, I don't think I can disclose their name, but they were talking about, being signed with this, like they're like a highly reputable agent in LA. And they were just like, yeah, I'm signed up with them. And at first it was nice, but then over time, it just didn't really gel. So they signed up with another agency that was kind of more in the regional, or like, I don't know what type of agency they are, but they signed up with another one, and it works so much better for them because they fit their
Yeah.
needs more and they accommodate them. And if it's a project that makes
And they
that you're not
hear
really
them.
comfortable signing on them,
Yeah.
they listen to them. So that's why I did an episode on this with Anastasia Pioro about the importance of an actor agent relationship and how it's super important, like, in this industry, because a lot of people just but they kind of overlook that, and they're just like, I want to do funny voices and oh,
Hmm.
that's jazz. So, which,
Yeah.
you know what? Not like, I'm not going to dismiss anybody, but it's like, there is a lot more than just doing this for like an hour. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know,
Yeah, and there's
just,
a
and finding
desperation
your
that we all
weaknesses
have.
too. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And there's a desperation that we all have, being like, I want to be in the
Ooh.
business that I've worked
Oh
so
my God.
hard, and
Yeah.
like that you're willing to compromise a lot about who you are for what you want. And there is a degree of that. Like I do think
Mhm.
that, you got to have some humility to be like, "Ooh,
Oh
this."
yeah, like I've done this big video game. It's
Right.
just yeah,
Yeah, but you also have to make sure that whoever it is that you are like aggressively pursuing and saying, I want to be partnered with you,
yeah,
like their job is to pitch you. So if they
yeah,
don't get who you are, they're not going to pitch you. They're not going to
exactly. Yeah,
they're not going to know how to make the most of your time and your
yeah,
skill.
for sure.
And I think for a lot of us, like that's still a struggle, if you're not like established, that's still a
Hmm.
struggle of trying to prove like I can do this, I can do this. um so yeah, it's a journey,
Exactly.
it's a long game. But June foray, that incredible beast
Oh
of a human,
yeah,
she was doing it until she was,
like
I mean,
90,
like,
almost a
swear to God,
100.
she was on her deathbed. Like
Wow,
she
dang.
basically sort of like, I would imagine, walked out of a studio after a recording one day and then was like, I'm ready for a nap. And then just didn't wake up from that nap. Like she worked until practically the day she died. And I think that that is so much to be said about what the voiceover journey is. It's
Wow,
not about what you look like. It's not about, like if you're passionate about it and you can do the work, you can do it until you're ready to stop.
wow, that is pretty deep. Not gonna
No?
lie.
Don't you
Yeah,
agree? No?
yeah, I agree, but that is pretty deep, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she really, that just
I know.
brings to mind like with June Foray because man, I completely forgot to mention her because like she was
What a
she was
gift.
pretty much a pioneer and a
She
gift
was a
because
pioneer. She was a
yeah, she
pioneer.
was Rocky Bullwinkle, Looney Tunes, all these the stuff that I grew up on, and you know,
Broomhilda.
Renota, did you say
Broomhilda. Broomhilda.
Hilda?
From Looney Tunes. So there was a
Oh
series of
yeah,
auditions that went out a few years ago, right after her death, that they were trying to find the new Broomhilda. And I don't know, I haven't really like dug into it, but I know I auditioned for it a number of times. And I was like,
congrats by the way.
this is the job I want.
Yeah,
Well,
but
thank you.
good
But
that you got
like,
the auditions and you're allowed to
right?
disclose it.
Nice to be considered. I mean, there was nothing about the audition that said like, don't tell anyone. And this is many years ago. So,
Oh yeah, this is yeah.
yeah, and I'm sure they've found people, or maybe they haven't, because I don't know that that character has found
I'm
a
not sure, honestly.
current
Yeah.
conversation. I don't really know, but there's all those classic characters, and she was the voice for Broomhilda. Oh God, now I'm questioning it. Was she not the voice? She was. She was.
I think it's kind of like that somewhere around there. But some of the other characters I know are, taken on the mantle by other actors. Like I think Candy
Yes.
Milo currently is Granny, and I think she
Yes.
also voices Witch Hazel. I'm not sure,
Oh, is
but
it Witch
yeah,
Hazel? Oh, it's Witch Hazel. Oh
Hazel.
my God,
Yeah,
I'm
Witch
saying the wrong
Hazel. No,
name.
I
I'm
was like
so
saying
sorry.
Brunhilde. What?
Who's
Class? Yeah.
Broomhilda?
Where did you get that from? I don't
I
know.
don't
But
know. Who is
anyways,
that now?
I don't know. When you say Brunhilde, I thought she was a character from Rocky
But
Bullwinkle
you're
or
right.
something.
It's Witch Hazel. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
or
Yeah, yeah.
Natasha from
Yeah.
Rocky Bullwinkle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a
Yeah,
joy.
I'm not really an impressionist, but it's so fun to do these voices and turn them into different characters.
Oh, I can't
Just
do
steal from the best.
impressions.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did because somebody told me they were doing like a Russian type of thing, and they
Oof.
just basically told me that they just outright stole Bonus Betana from Rocky Bullwinkle cities. Paul
Ah,
Frees. Yeah,
I
the
love
great Paul Frees.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy was also just magnificent. His range, like Ludwig, the Ghost Toast, Boris, the Pillsbury Doughboy, just
You're right.
man, what
It
a
was June
guy.
Foray. I'm Googling it
June
now.
Foray.
So it
Yeah.
was June Foray. I was right. And then I think now
It's I think it's
they may
between
not have
Can
someone now, but Trust McNeil
Yeah, Trax.
did
Yes.
it for something. So
Animaniacs or something. I don't know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Tiny Toons or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But yeah, we were just talking
best.
about VAs and stuff. And since we're kind of talking Looney Tunes, like Mel Blanc, I mean, going back to Bob once again, he kind of practically was, but this is during the time before
I
social
mean,
media, so there's like many
he
pros and
is the
cons with.
pioneer of voice
Yeah, so
acting.
like with Bob, he was calling up Mel Blanc during a session or something.
Mhm.
14 years old. Like, man, at 14, really anxious, socially awkward.
Yeah.
I don't think I probably would have lasted like over like 5 minutes just talking to somebody of like
Oh, I
Blank's
know.
caliber. Yeah, but the fact that he did it so relentlessly and fearlessly, and he
Um,
got to crash in on a session. Yeah,
they
he told
talk
the
about that,
story
like
on the
Corey
yeah.
Burton.
Corey! Oh my
Yeah, Corey
gosh,
Burton,
yeah.
Bob Bergen. Like, there's a handful of people who knew from a very young age before
Yeah, Dawes.
animation.
They coach with Dawes Butler, another great
Yes. Yeah, before
Hanna
voiceover
Barbera.
was
Yeah,
like a thing. Yeah, those
yeah.
guys were like, this is what I want to do. And they were so ahead of the
Nancy
curve.
Cartwright. Yeah,
Nancy
she was another one.
Cartwright. Oh my God, Nancy Cartwright, who's the aunt of Sabrina
Bill
Carpenter,
Farmer.
right?
Sabrina.
Yeah,
Is it?
Sabrina
Oh, no,
Carpenter.
it's. Oh, I thought it was Billie Eilish. I don't know
No,
why I
no,
get
no,
the
no.
two
It's
mixed
Sabrina
up.
Carpenter. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, okay.
yeah. Sabrina Carpenter, the musician, the artist.
I
Her
know who she
aunt
is.
is Nancy Cartwright. I mean, come
That
on,
is
isn't
unbelievable.
that
So,
crazy?
hey, Simpsons, you wanna? I don't know if they already guessed.
Is
She already
Simpsons
guessed on
still
it.
going? Oh, is that a terrible
It's
question? Is
still,
Simpsons?
yeah, yeah.
Is it good?
I kind of stopped. I only watch the old stuff. I haven't really been
I
watching
feel like Simpsons is one of those things that could go on quite literally
forever.
forever and be relevant forever.
Like
Like,
Family Guy, SpongeBob, all these shows.
yeah.
Sesame Street.
Oh,
Or
Sesame
yeah,
Street. Yeah, I think in the lines of Sesame Street. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, we went down on a trip to we went on a blast to the past during this
The
recording,
best.
didn't
It's
we?
the
Man,
best.
it's the best, man. And honestly, I did have some questions that I wanted to ask, but you know what? I would probably just save them because I think this has kind of
I
gone
like
on
it.
long enough as is.
We've got it for a while.
And it plus it's
Yeah.
like almost like 5 my time. So
Yeah,
yeah,
very good.
um,
Yeah.
it has been really nice getting to, shoot the breeze with you once again and just getting to
Same.
divulge and all of this nerd talk because we need it after a long day. Let's just be real.
Yep, we sure do. We sure do. Highlight.
Yeah.
Highlight of the day.
Yeah, big highlight. Okay, so one last thing. I should probably talk about some of my convention experiences this year since we kind of got some extra
Yes.
time. Because I know
Yes.
you've shared your convention stuff. So,
I'm wanting to go as a voice actor to a convention. Like,
as
I want to go to an anime
like a
convention as an invite.
as an
Um,
industry guest type of.
yeah, how do we make that happen? But regardless,
Look,
yes, talk about your convention experiences. Go.
that's like, yeah, that should be an episode in of itself. But okay, so I've been going since like 27, yeah, since before I turned like became an adult because all the Sonic stuff that I got behind me is from all the different cons that I've been going to. So there's this. I wanted to give a shout out to Sonic Revolution, that's been really wonderful. It usually happens every June. Like, I mean, I would be going next month, but they're on a hiatus, so they're
Mhm.
probably going to do something big for like the 35th anniversary. Which talk about franchises that have been going on and on for a long time. It's still going strong. Just
Mhm.
God bless Sonic. But
Right?
yeah, it's a great convention that is for the fans, by the fans. I've met so many amazing people. Shout out to those that I've actually gotten to work alongside with, like Belina Productions, Amy Jones, just all these amazing people. Um, Voice actors that also inspired me there. And just going to these I mean, it's great to get to know these people and just
Yeah.
really learn how they do and have these panels and just be yourself. Just be weird,
Mhm.
awkward, because but don't go crazy. Okay, we don't
Yeah,
want we don't
don't
want
be uncomfortable.
don't be
Yeah.
that guy, as Julian
Yeah.
often says.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just isn't like okay. So for my personal experiences this year, because I am going to be going to the Nostalgia one next weekend in Anaheim, and I'm
Nice.
actually going to stay at a little hotel like close to the convention. So yeah,
Ooh.
so that way we don't
Swanky.
have to do that driving on that five free. Don't worry, I don't live that far, but it's nice to
Yeah.
just walk on down it. Just walk to the
Yes.
convention center. Yeah, instead of just using a car. So yeah,
Yes.
for the two that have already gone this year, because I've talked about it in a previous episode, I went to Collecticon here in LA, and that's where I met like oh, I don't have a shirt, but I met Charles Martinet, who was Super Mario. I still have no idea what happened about that. But
Oh,
um,
okay.
are you familiar with Charles?
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, like he was Mario, Luigi, all the Super Mario characters for many years.
Nice.
Um, oh, and speaking of podcasts, you were talking about Talking Tunes. Jim
Mm.
Cummings was at the Collecticon,
Oh,
and
Jim Cummings.
yeah, like I guess he's kind of like a spiritual successor to Rob. I mean, Jim is kind of like he's also done a lot of interviews, like a lot of industry guests that are on his show, including ones that honestly have retired, like Jenny McSwain, who did a lot of the Disney afternoon stuff.
Oh, does she not
Um,
do anything anymore?
I think she doesn't really do. I mean, she's a retired
Okay.
SAG-AFTRA member,
Okay.
so
All right.
yeah, I know she's still around. 70s, so like you were talking about people that
Wow.
are still working, and
Ugh,
still
I
going
mean,
strong and young,
to me, they're all still going strong. I don't know. But Jim
exactly.
Cummings, yeah, I got to meet him at a con one time
Yeah, I
and
finally
like
got to meet him. I should probably send over. Actually, you know what,
my
while
heart,
I'm doing this,
my heart.
yeah,
Winnie the
like
Pooh.
yeah, I just guess it's kind of like a spiritual, kind of, you know, way or like continuation of like Rob's show. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I also met Yuri and Tara. I have their book over there, like the
Oh,
voiceover
okay.
voice actor, which is
Yeah.
another great resource. Let me see who else did I meet. Okay, so I almost met Tom Kenny, but I was so tired, and I was gonna
Sure.
meet him at the next convention, which was WonderCon, but he ended up getting sick. So
Mm.
it was just March wasn't really my month. But you know what? Since he'll be there on the next weekend, I will finally, make my childhood just come full circle with both Tom and Rob
Yeah.
there. Like, oh my gosh, I'm already getting excited thinking about it.
And they're so
Yeah,
lovely. Like
and
yeah, they're
yeah,
such lovely people and they're so grateful for the careers that they have because of the
exactly.
fans.
S-
And be like showing up to these cons is their way of giving back to the people who have given so much to them.
Okay,
So
yeah,
they're very gracious. They're very lovely. Like Rob could not have been more gracious, more lovely. I've heard that about Tom Kenny as well. And
dude, yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to seeing him for real.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do have the books over there, and I would run right over and grab them, but we're almost out of time,
No, it's
anyways.
good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see if I still have the. So yeah, it's like on my phone. I still have pictures from like WonderCon, and in some of
I
them,
love
I met
it.
like Lori Allen was there. The Hispanic Spanish SpongeBob Lewis was
Yes.
there, and I attended the Cartoon Voices panel, which was a lot of fun.
I
Uh,
bet. I bet that was a lot of
yeah,
fun. Did they do a reading of an old script or did they
yeah,
just
from
like talk
Goldilocks.
about
Yeah, with Mark. Yeah, it was a bunch of them. They read like from Goldilocks, and they were just
I
stellar.
love it. It's so great. It's so
Yeah.
great.
All right, so here's me with Jim Cummings.
Oh, look at you
And I had to get
guys.
my Darkwing Duck here. I had to get my Darkwing.
Darkwing Duck. What a throwback. Oh,
Yeah, I think
uh,
I don't think I have it up yet because busy and ADHD brain, but I
sure.
will
Yeah.
have it up eventually. But yeah,
Yeah.
for anybody that I met over the years, thank you and love you, Jim. And I
Yeah.
probably might see him again at NostalgiaCon. Who
Sure you
knows?
will.
Bill
Yeah.
Farmer will also be there. Goofy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, great
Lovely
stuff
human.
about him as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
great people, man. Great people.
Yay. And we're gonna be those great people one day too, right,
Exactly.
Robert?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the best way to
At
close
some
this out
point, the
on.
torch will be
Yeah.
passed, and we're gonna take it and we're gonna run with it and give nothing but love and gratitude back.
Love and gratitude. Taking it from
Yeah.
Rob. Back at ya. So
Yay.
yeah, this is a pretty good note to end, a strong note to end it out on. So thank you so much for watching the show, everybody. And yeah, any final like thoughts, social plug, anything from
No,
you?
grateful for the people. I don't know. Go find Nike, Goddess of Victory. Put in some requests for Leviathan to go to a con because this girl wants to go to a con. I want to go to a con as an artist and like live
Yeah.
out that dream because that's been a dream of mine for many, many years. So,
Yeah, there we
yeah,
go. And Star Wars. I mean,
and
may
Star
the
Wars.
fourth be with you. Kind of late,
It's
but
not May the 4th. It's
I
almost
know,
June
yeah.
the 4th.
I mean, like, look, it's still May. It technically counts, okay?
Can
It
you
still
do?
counts.
Oh, wait, that's Star Trek.
Yeah, I don't know that's Star Trek, but yeah,
Is it the thumb in, thumb out? Does it matter?
doesn't matter.
All
But
right.
anyways, yeah,
Space Nerds Unite. Let's do it.
yeah, Star Wars, another. I like the original. Oh, geez, got to go with the classics. I was kind of
Yeah.
in the mood today, so why not?
I love it. I
Thank
love
you
it.
so much for watching, everybody, and stick around next time at Station Square with Robert Jackson and Brandi Hollsten. Later, and have a
Yay.
blessed rest of your week ahead. God bless you, and God bless y'all. Love you.